Hey everyone, Miss GoElectric here. I'm at the Consumer Electronics Show 2026 and I had to stop by this booth here. This is ElectricFish. This is Leonardo. He is the founder and president of ElectricFish. Thank you for spending some time with us first and foremost. We got to learn a little bit more about this product though.
Yeah, thank you very much for stopping by. What we have here is an ultra-fast EV charger that doesn't require any special infrastructure. So you can deploy this charger anywhere with the current infrastructure, and it's going to be operating in a few hours.
Now, ElectricFish, is this a new company?
Yes, we have been around for 5 years developing the product and putting it through many tests. It has been tested by the likes of Hyundai and Toyota Mobility Foundation. We had a unit at Burning Man last year. So it has been through many rounds of testing, and now we are prime time to go to market and really scale up.
So can you explain exactly what your product offers?
Yes. So everything that makes this charger work is within this container, right? There's a miniature of the unit, and basically we don't require any electrical upgrades. We don't require any construction. It's basically a box that you can drop in on any flat surface, and then you connect it to the grid. But we do not require a strong connection to the grid. Any simple commercial connection will suffice. The principle is that we draw energy from the grid slowly but constantly. And then we store it in the batteries. And then we discharge that energy into cars very quickly in very strong bursts of energy. The grid stays stable. The grid is operating fine. We're not taking energy, sucking up energy that could otherwise be going to the neighborhood surrounding us, which is what happens when you have other chargers that draw a lot of energy all of a sudden from the grid. So the equipment actually does good for the electrical grid system overall, and for the the buildings and everything that is around the unit, because it can provide backup power, for instance, in a situation when there is an outage or something like that. It can also send energy back when the utilities need it. So it helps to alleviate the stress on the electrical grid.
And it also is great because in that case, it can charge the batteries back up maybe in the middle of the night when the cost is much lower, right?
Correct. So what happens is that we can actually leverage that capability to reduce the cost of electricity for charging cars. So it's a great news for us, but it's great news also for those who want to have a unit in their establishments. So here at CES, we are actually launching a program that we're calling Turbocharge, that is making this equipment available for gas stations in different regions of the country. And basically, we're not even charging any money for that. We are offering revenue sharing agreements with gas station owners so that they can have this and provide this to their customers. They can drive more traffic in to their convenience stores, and we will actually share revenue with them. There's no need for any upfront investment.
What's the capacity of the batteries that's in this? I want to get more into the technical specifications of this unit.
Yeah, so it's over 400 kilowatt hour, and we actually can charge at 400 kilowatt. That's why the equipment is called 400 squared. Very important component of this solution is the software. So we have software to manage the charges and everything that is happening within the equipment, but we also have AI agents working in sync to determine how the energy is going to flow. So this is a very important component because it allows us to operate at the max speed that the cars can take, while preserving the health of our own batteries. So we want our batteries to last as long as possible. We also want to provide energy back to the grid when it's needed. So we're connected via satellite 100% of the time. There's no downtime with this technology. So we're connected in all the energy systems so that we can actually basically trade energy when that's an option.
So is there any active cooling systems within the battery system to be able to manage that, also to prolong the life of the battery as well?
Yes, that's a very important component of the system. So we use liquid cooling. Actually, temperature control overall is a very important component of this system. So it's not only cooling, we also need to warm up the batteries when they are operating. For instance, in Detroit right now, we have a unit that is active there, and temperatures are not as pleasant right now. So we also need to control that aspect of the system. It has to be at a certain temperature, and we do that all within the unit with either cooling or warming up the unit.
You have the ability to add 2 connectors to this unit. Is that your maximum? And then can you talk a little bit about the charging when you're having 2 EVs connected at once?
Yes, when we have one NACS and one CCS connector. We can charge 2 cars simultaneously. The system will split the capacity of the battery automatically depending on what the cars are asking for. The current limitation actually is what the cars can take. We can actually deliver, we could deliver up to 400. No, we haven't seen any cars actually being able to take that much, but it's a completely configurable system, very modular. So upgrading this system in the future, when newer cars get even higher speeds, it's very easy. So that's the secret sauce. It's not an equipment that's going to be, on the same state forever. This is something that can be upgraded from a software perspective and from a hardware perspective very easily.
So I noticed that you had screens on this unit. Is that something that is optional? And what do those screens, how do they benefit the user and also the owner of this device?
Yeah, so at the front of the unit, we have a simple screen just to accept payment. We are not asking consumers to download any new apps. So it's a simple tap and pay and go. And on the side, we have it's an optional ad screen. So for those who are interested in actually having some revenue from advertisement, we have a very big advertisement screen on the side of the unit. And the ads are also controlled by our own software, which does a lot more than that, but that's one of the capabilities of.
So can you talk a little bit more about that software? So if someone wanted to have more detail on the data side of the unit when they purchase it, what kind of information are you able to provide?
Yeah, you can check the number of sessions, at what speed each session occurred, so you can understand the health of the battery, how charged it is, how it's being depleted during the day or not. So every aspect of how energy is flowing within the unit can be monitored through our management software.
Now, I imagine that a 400 kilowatt hour battery in a dispenser like this is probably pretty heavy. So what is the weight on something like this?
Unfortunately, we cannot lift it ourselves. We need a forklift for that, but it weighs about 9,000 pounds. We transport it on a truck. We use a forklift to put it on the ground. We call it a semi-permanent installation because it can be moved after it's installed. Of course, you would do that only if there's a real need to do so. But we have other use cases where, for instance, with Burning Man, we just transported a unit there, used it for two weeks, and then moved it back to our facility. So there are those use cases, for instance, for disaster recovery, where you would want a unit temporarily at one location, and then you can move it to another location.
What is the cost benefit in comparison to, say, a traditional DC fast charging install?
Yeah, so for any conventional DC fast charger installation, you need to do some construction work, you need to do electrical upgrades, and these run, sometimes north of 150K for each charger or for each port. So it's a pretty expensive process. On top of the charger itself, we do not require any of that. So the total cost of ownership of our units is much lower than the conventional chargers. So it's a very simple permitting process to connect to the grid, much simpler than the regular electrical upgrades that you would require for conventional chargers, which normally can take several months, and ours is just a matter of weeks.
As far as the voltage, can you talk about the capability? You said 400 kilowatt, but there are two platforms that are the most popular with 400 or 800 volt architecture with EVs, and sometimes there are pieces of equipment that can't accommodate the higher speeds for one or the other. So can you touch on, do you have the ability to convert for those types of platforms?
Yes, we do. In fact, our architecture goes up to 1,000 volts, so it's really powerful. It can take any car that is currently in the market can get a very fast charge with our units.
It's 400 kilowatts, but as far as that distribution, how quickly could you charge?
Yeah. So in 10 minutes, of course, that depends on the car, but in 10 minutes, in general, you can get more than 150 miles of autonomy. So that's great, and it's compatible also with the typical business model of gas stations, right? You don't want people lingering around for half an hour. You want people to stop, charge, grab something at the convenience store, hop back on their cars, and off they go, so that the next one can do the same. So we're very much focused on providing that experience very similar to what a gas-powered car driver has, so that people who might be considering moving to an EV, they don't see that change in the user experience as a problem. They can rest assured that they can have the same kind of experience. They can stop at any gas station. They don't need to plan in advance. Don't need to look at any apps. Just stop, top up, perhaps grab a cereal bar at the convenience store, get back in the car, and continue their way.
I want to talk a little bit about the batteries in here once again, and the chemistry specifically that you're utilizing, and maybe where even you are getting your supply of batteries to put in this unit.
Yes, the batteries are LFP, and we have tested other types of chemistry before during this cycle of product evolution, and we got to this current format, which is very safe and very powerful. We are sourcing most of our components from the US, so we have about 85% of the subcomponents being sourced in the US. And we want to keep it that way. We want to do it as locally as possible. So we are also contracting with manufacturers in the country to also have these subcomponents made here, and we are responsible really for the assemble and testing. We don't see ourselves as a hardware maker. We design the solution, the hardware, software, AI, and data solution, and we count on contracting manufacturers to produce it.
Where are you guys based, and where are you manufacturing these?
Yeah, so we're based out of San Carlos, California. We also have a presence in Detroit, Michigan. We assemble and test the units in our facilities in California, and we will certainly expand to other locations as we scale up our operation.
So you said you had one that is out being utilized in the Detroit area. Are there other places where you've deployed this already as well?
Yeah, over the years we had several deployments, as I mentioned before, to develop the product, test it under very stringent conditions, and evolve it to get to this point when we are really ready for scaling the operation. So right now at CES, we are actually opening up for sign-ups. So gas stations or other retailers that might be interested in having a unit, they can get on our website, electricfish.co, and sign up to have a unit at their locations.
I did notice you mentioned Hyundai, and I noticed around your booth it says Open Innovation with 01. Now, how does that connect here at CES?
Yeah, so Hyundai actually has this wonderful presence here, and they asked us and some other startups that were part of their program to be here exhibiting at CES. And we are here because they actually had our product on their proving grounds at the Mojave Desert for more than 5 months. So they were charging their own cars continuously with our equipment, with 100% uptime. So at very high temperatures, as you may imagine, was a wonderful task for our product before going to market. Right after the Hyundai tested our product on the same proving grounds, Motor Trend did their SUV of the Year review. By that time, we had already brought back the unit to our facilities. So Motor Trend actually called us 1 week in advance, and we were able to transport it back to the racing track or a testing track. And they were able to put it up and start charging the SUVs that they were going to review very, very quickly. And they were very pleased with the results.
All right, so if someone wants to learn more about ElectricFish, how can they do that?
Yeah, they can go to our website, electricfish.co. And if they want to sign up to have one of the units at their location, they can go to electricfish.co/gas.
Awesome. Well, thank you for educating us about this really cool product that you guys have, Leonardo. We appreciate it. And until next time, guys, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.